let's be serious about this for a minute. So earlier today, or I guess earlier yesterday, technically at this point, I made a little snippet where I was laughing at Zay Frank's expense, talking about how in this little video segment here on Zay Frank's Patreon, what he's really saying is he feels inadequate about the size of his penis. At a certain point in this little video snippet, he says that, he says it jokingly, but he says that, females should be choosing males based on things like a sexy voice and good sense of humor. I think that any seasoned woman, any woman worth her salt, who's good-hearted, will tell you that that's not necessarily what it's about either. It's not about a big penis, and it's certainly not about a guy with a sense of humor and a sexy voice either, because that's just sort of another flavor of the dude wearing the leather jacket riding on the motorcycle. I have a little piece that I wrote in my WordPress blog where I say that the fun guy is a fungi, a parasitic organism that leeches off of women and sucks them dry, and manages to do this by sort of glamoring them in with fun times. But ultimately, they have nothing to offer the woman. They're not going to help her further her goals, which quite often include, a family, a life partner, so on and so forth. So they're just fun time guys. They're just clowns. They're clowning around, and they want to clown around with a female for a little while. Anyway, any woman worth her salt is going to tell you that it's about trust and integrity, right? If there's no trust, there's no relationship. It's just a fling. It's just two people kidding around, really ultimately wasting each other's time. And for anybody who has gone through a lot of my previous videos on this channel, you will have seen by now that I have repeatedly been accusing Zay Frank of, in my very strong opinion, being a part of a cult, and a cult that I think very likely abuses children. And what's there to trust about that? He's offered me no ability to trust him. And I think for any woman who is sane out there, who thinks what I think about him, who agrees that he's likely part of a cult that harms children, that has sexual involvement with children, performs sexual rituals on children, there's no integrity there, and there's certainly nothing that you can trust. Most women out there do not want to risk that a guy is going to sexually assault their child. I think it's funny. I think it's mostly sad, though, that all Zay Frank has to offer, and he knows this about himself, he knows he's not trustworthy. He knows he does not have integrity. He knows he's given me no reason to trust him. He's certainly aware by now of the fact that I've been accusing him of this and attempting to expose him. And all he can do, the best he can do, is crack jokes about how it's better to pick a guy with a sultry, sexy voice and a sense of humor than the guy with a big dick. So it's like, you don't have integrity, you don't have trust, you don't have what really matters. And you probably also don't have a big dick. And so your fallback is that you have a sense of humor and a sexy voice. Wow. What's next? I guess the next thing will be that he has money. That's the next thing he'll be saying should be the deciding factor for a woman who's looking to breed. Money's useful, but it's not everything. So, again, women want to know that they have a partner that they can trust, who isn't going to run off on them, who isn't going to tire of them or family life, or be unfaithful to them, who's going to be open and honest, totally open and honest with them, at least where it counts. A little white lie here and there telling her that her ass doesn't look big or something like that is acceptable, but where it counts, and when it comes to child abuse, child rape, being a member of a cult, that it certainly counts there. And no woman wants to deal with a little boy who can't just tell the whole honest, straightforward, open truth. No woman wants to deal with a guy like that. That is a little boy to us. It's like dealing with a little 4-year-old that you're trying, you know the truth, and you're trying to get the 4-year-old to admit to the truth. And he just comes up with every little stupid explanation, story, lie under the sun, I didn't pull my sister's hair. It was the boogeyman who came out of the closet and did it. And, nonsense that isn't true. And that he did it. And it's just exhausting and annoying and it's a waste of time to continue to pursue the truth from a child or a child-minded adult. So I just think ultimately it's very sad that Zay Frank tells these little jokes. I mean, it's a nice little window into his psychological, emotional status, I guess, into his insecurities. But it's been, how long has it been? I first started making these videos in about 2022. It's going on 3 years now. I suspect that he knew he was made aware of the videos pretty shortly after I began posting them, and still he does not have the guts or the gumption. Courage is another one. That's another big thing that mature, seasoned, intelligent, wise women look for in a man. Courage, integrity, trustworthiness. He's not trustworthy. He's given me no reason. He's done nothing to build up trust with me. And here's the funny thing is, here's how forgiving and or stupid I can be sometimes. Is for a little while last year, I was of a mind to start and try to trust him, because my reasoning being that, well, he hasn't had me killed yet. He knows I'm trying to expose him for crimes against children, but I'm not dead yet, so I guess maybe he's trying to send me messages for my own good or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I should try trusting him. I did give it a little bit of a shot, but it's just the realist part of me had to take over and go like, come on, dude. That's not really a good enough reason to trust somebody. That's nothing to build trust on, like, well, he hasn't killed me. That's silly, isn't it? I can be silly sometimes. So yeah, it is funny. It is funny to see that Zay Frank is likely insecure about his teeny tiny Tyrannosaurus Rex hands and the corresponding mushroom dick that goes along with it. But it's mostly sad. It's mostly sad that he knows. I think that he knows that that he can't really comment on loyalty and trustworthiness and integrity because he doesn't have any. So, except possibly loyalty to his cult. But I'm not sure. I'm not a member, nor do I wish to be, so I don't know how much they all trust each other. I do imagine it to be a little bit on the cutthroat side. Again, I've said this in the past. I imagine it to be somewhat like the aristocracy of Westeros, and really, which is based on the aristocracy of real life, right? Which is they are all kind of competing with each other and trying to outdo each other and take power from each other, but ultimately they also kind of protect each other. They know to keep it all in the family, so to speak. They know that if they let the power slip from their hands into the hands of the quote-unquote mob or the common folk, then they're all screwed, right? So they squabble amongst themselves, but within certain boundaries. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on. I just felt like I should, and it just seems like I think I'm just kind of locked and loaded, guns blazing, full on mean to him. Like it's as if I'm in a triggered state of mind I can't get out of when it comes to him. I think I've been meaner to Zay Frank than I've been to anyone ever in my life. So maybe that'll make him feel special. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to get out of this state of mind where I just feel like I need to say mean things to him. I guess that would come with like some measure of respect for him, having some measure of respect for him, which I don't foresee coming anytime soon or likely ever. So, all right, it's late and I'm going to start getting ready for bed. After I have some brie cheese, yeah. Ooh, brie cheese. I love brie cheese. All right. Good night.